Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine, the show that teaches you how to survive the things that could kill you.
Like nuclear war, biting spiders, or car crashes?
Yes, and the things that just make you wish you were dead.
Like calling your teacher mommy or middle school or Mean Girls?
Oh, those are horrible. Let's just play the song.
Ground is shaking under our feet, mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. Ooh, how to survive. Ooh, how to survive.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. Hi, Kristine. How you doing?
Hey.
Why are you staring off at a 45-degree angle? You're freaking me out. Are you seeing little fairies? What's happening?
I was getting ready to, I was trying to decide if I wanted to tell you this embarrassing thing or not.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now you have to.
All right. So I don't think this has ever happened before. I mean, certainly not at this podcast, but like in my life, I'm trying to decide if I've done this. I didn't brush my teeth.
You just forgot.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's so ingrained into my little morning routine.
Yeah.
But something changed in the morning routine, which was we were all running late. And so I grabbed my toast and my banana, my coffee and my orange juice, and I took it with me to the bathroom and sort of was eating it while I was preparing to get into the shower.
Like a rom-com? Did you brush your teeth on the toilet and like eat your sandwich in the shower?
My life is a rom-com,
Yeah.
Danielle. I don't know if I've established that
Right.
yet. A rom-com where I'm Sandra Bullock and I'm always tripping and getting hurt.
Yeah.
My teeth aren't as good as hers, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
As soon as
not at this rate, you're not without brushing them.
No, that's a good point. I meant I was going to get them all replaced with better teeth.
Oh, I like your teeth. I do. I have a mint. Would you like a mint?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't have to give it to me right now, but or you can. So anyway, normally I get my toothbrush and oh my God, Garen, what? Look what Garen has.
Does Garen have?
He has Golden Girl mints.
Oh my God.
Blanche's Southern Charm mints.
Those are for after you've blown a guy or something. I mean, that's why she wouldn't eat.
That was not part of my morning routine.
No.
By the way.
Thank God.
That would be an announcement.
Yeah.
Anyway, normally start brushing my teeth,
Yeah.
get into the shower, finish brushing my teeth in the shower. Don't most people do that?
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Do you do like I'm sorry, that was like a long moment of silence because I'm trying to imagine. Do you do like a long 2-minute brush? Is that why you have to do it in two parts?
Well,
two different locations?
I start and then I turn on the shower. The shower's kind of getting heated up. I'm still brushing my teeth. And then if I'm still brushing my teeth, then I get into the shower, finish brushing my teeth, letting the hot water just soak over me and make me feel good while I finish. Place the toothbrush, back onto the charger. Well,
wait, you bring an electric toothbrush into the shower?
Yeah, it's waterproof.
That's not dangerous?
No, it's fine.
Wait, you have a charger in the shower?
No, it's on the counter right next to my shower. I open the little glass door, put it back on the charger.
Oh, okay.
But because I was like working on my toast, instead of brushing my teeth, put my toast down, got in the shower, came out, and then I was like, well, I just in my head, I'd already brushed my teeth. And so I moved on with my day. I was drinking coffee. Once coffee taste is in your mouth, you're like, well, I have a bad taste in my mouth. So that's
it's coffee.
normal.
Yeah, right.
Got, on the freeway, and I was like,
No. I have a question for you.
I'm ready.
Before we get into today's topic.
Let's do it.
So I need to get my hair cut and colored. And I was trying to remember the name of my salon, and I was like, oh, right, it's that pun. It's a pun. That's how I remembered it. It's called, and I don't know if it's supposed to be a pun, and it didn't occur to me until like the second time. I've only been there twice, I think. And the second time I was there, I was like, oh, it's called Salon Dion. Do you think it's supposed to be a pun on Celine Dion, or am I making that up?
No,
you think it's supposed to be a pun?
Yes.
It has to be.
It has to be, right?
What else could it be a pun on?
But why would you name a hair place? Well, unless whoever started is named Dion. But
possibly.
I've got to ask. I almost went back in and asked last time, and I lost my nerve.
You're going in, right?
I've got to make an appointment. I got to ask Salon Dion. But it helps me remember
Is it because spelled like her last name?
I don't know. No. Well, how does she spell her last name? Dion?
I think Dion.
No, it's Dionne. But it still could be a pun because that could be the person's name, but thought it was a clever, or it could just be a coincidence. It's going to drive me crazy,
You
whatever
have
it
to
is.
find out. Speaking of puns.
Yeah.
I went past, there's a nail salon. It might be in Highland Park. It might not. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's called Nail to the Rescue. Okay. How is that a pun?
It's not.
Okay, right?
Maybe it was lost in translation.
But the thing I'm thinking is like all they have to do is change the to like toe. They could say nail toe at least.
Nail toe the rescue?
Nail toe. Yeah, like toe. No? Does that make
Well, then it should just be toe the rescue.
like nail?
Toe the rescue. It shouldn't even be nail because that just
But I mean,
cloudies it
like,
up.
What is to like? Is there a pun that's something to the rescue?
No.
So there's no reason for it to be called nail to the rescue.
No, I think
makes-
it's something lost in translation.
Okay, it's making me crazy.
Because
In the same way, where I was like,
Yeah.
driving past it, going, "Wait, what's that?
you may need to go inside and ask
Who will I talk to?"
and get into a really
Confusing
confusing conversation that won't lead anywhere.
I mean, they're just going to tell me to pick a color, and then that's going to be the scope of our conversation.
oh my God, nail to the rescue. Are we ready to get into today's topic?
Let's get there.
This is a relatable one, guys. This is how to survive. It's not about a yacht. It's not about a pirate. It's not about how to survive, a balloon crash. It's how to survive a car
Oh,
accident.
balloon crash is a good idea, though.
You know what? That might be a good one.
Oh, right?
Yeah, we might have to do a
Hot air
balloon
balloon crash?
I want to go on a hot air balloon. I wonder if I'd get nauseated.
I almost did when I was in Australia.
Yeah?
I signed up for it.
Okay.
With some woman I'd met. I mean, we were kids, really, but like traveling. And then we did it, like we signed up like while we were drunk. And then
Perfect.
we're supposed to get on it at like 4 a.m. because they take off,
Wow.
so you see the sunrise. And then by like 1 a.m, I'd sobered up and I was like, I am not getting in a hot air balloon. I'm not a person who wants to be in a hot air balloon.
Really?
I canceled, yeah.
Oh, I don't think it would scare me, but I don't know.
You can do this.
Yeah, I could do this.
You should.
Yeah, maybe I will, because I'm not going to jump out of a plane or anything. Okay, I'm going to give you some statistics about car crashes. More than 30,000 people die every year in crashes in the United States.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah. The U.S. traffic fatality rate is 12.4 deaths per 100,000 inhabitants. An additional 4.4 million are injured seriously enough to require medical attention. Road crashes are the leading cause of death in the U.S. for people aged 1 to 54.
But we should all be afraid of flying.
Right. The economic and societal impact of road crashes costs U.S. citizens $871 billion with a B.
Wow.
Road crashes cost the U.S. more than $380 million in direct medical costs. The U.S. suffers the most road crash deaths of any high-income country, about 50% higher than similar countries in Western Europe, Canada, Australia, and Japan.
Why? 50% higher?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because we're more dense than a lot of those countries, although we're not. I don't know. Well, we have a lot more surface area than a lot of those countries, so there's going to be more people and more cars.
You know what? We also don't have a robust public transportation system anywhere.
Right.
We're like very car culture. You go to Europe, a lot of people ride bicycles and take trains. And
I mean, it doesn't explain over Canada, although Canada has a lot of...
They're nicer. They probably drive...
Yeah,
they don't drive like assholes in giant trucks. Like
They just stay at those four-way stops, and then no one ever goes. They're constantly
just like, no,
waiting
you
for the
go.
other. No, you go.
No, you go.
No, you go.
Listen, speaking of that, I'm going to just interrupt just to say, a case in point.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, my son was in the car with his little friend on a play date.
Okay.
With their babysitter going to play mini golf. They got in an argument, the woman driving, with another woman over a parking spot.
Oh.
So Benji's car pulled in. The other woman got mad about this, hit the car on purpose.
What?
Yeah, she knew there were children in the car, and then took off in
You're
her car.
kidding me.
So this is how Americans drive.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
Did she get her license or anything?
Yeah.
She got her license
The police
plate?
came, and she's going to get in trouble, and it's a whole thing. But like...
What kind of a sicko does that?
Over a parking spot.
Over a parking spot?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if it were Disneyland, but this is just mini golf.
Oh,
there are plenty of spaces.
It wasn't even a really amazing mini golf place.
You take that back. All mini golf places are amazing.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Actually, we are a mini golf family. That's obnoxious to say, but anyway.
That's how you identify.
That's how we identify. What to do before a car accident? Wear your seatbelt. In an accident, a seatbelt can mean life or death. So this is absolutely the best thing you can do to survive a car crash. Seatbelts reduce serious car crash injuries and deaths by about half.
50%.
My mom made us wear seatbelts before it was even the law. Like I can't fathom being in a car and not wearing a seatbelt.
I can.
You're riding around on your dad's lap.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I would never not wear a seatbelt now. That's insane.
Right. Drive the safest car you can afford. Manufacturers continue to make cars safer every year, introducing new features like automatic braking and lane departure warnings. I have that. I have there's,
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I have a lot of beeps. I have a beep for the car in front of you is leaving. In other words, if you're like looking down at your phone, it's like, hey, jackass, someone is leaving in front of you. It's time to hit the gas.
Question about that.
Yeah.
Because we just had a rental car over the weekend that does that. And because Sven was just in a car accident.
I didn't know that.
So he had a rental.
Boy, the luck just continues in your family.
A woman just sideswiped the side of our Honda.
Oh, shit.
So luckily, at least it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
So we had a rental car over the weekend while his car was getting repaired, a full electric, which we enjoyed.
Oh.
And it was one of those cars that if you're like looking at your phone and the car goes in front of you, like you just said, the only thing that kind of freaks me out about that is that then are we all just becoming less observant drivers because the car is doing everything for you? It also like kind of steered for him a little bit when he had it in cruise control so that he could it would beep if you took your hands off the wheel. But when your hands were on the wheel and you had it in cruise control, the car would steer.
Well, what's the point then? What's the point of having your hands on the wheel if it's going to
Because it wasn't fully self-driving.
Yeah,
but it wanted you to still be...
Jesus.
So I'm fascinated by all the things that cars do for us now, but I'm also like a little freaked out that we're just like completely checked out.
Yeah. Okay, this one I like because this is not something, obviously you're going to, buy the safest car and wear your seatbelt. This I had not thought of. Store potential projectiles. Anything can become a projectile during a crash. Rocks collected on a hike. You know how you, as an adult, collect rocks on a hike?
The biggest I can find you. Well, I always have those rocks in my backpack because of the bears.
Of the bears and the cougars
mountain
and stuff.
lions,
sports equipment, your laptop, an overnight bag, your go bag, if you're a paranoid mountain person.
Or just a person who lives in California who should have a go bag in their trunk.
Right. Seemingly harmless items can become dangerous when flung across your car at a high rate of speed.
MAC eyeliner.
Oh my God, that could totally be a projectile
in
like
your eyeball.
Yeah,
you want it under the eye.
Oh, don't put eyeliner under your eye.
I do.
You do?
I line my eye.
You do? You line the bottom?
Yeah, down here.
Oh,
you don't think that looks bad?
It doesn't look bad on you at all. When I do it, I look like 90s crazy. Like
maybe you're not using the right color. I have to, or otherwise my eyes just they disappear.
Oh.
Unless
I do top eyeliner.
You tell me if you think it looks bad.
No. You always look beautiful. I think you look fantastic.
Okay, well then I guess I'm not
But I used to do it on the bottom and on the top, and it looked ridiculous.
I do the bottoms, usually not the top.
Okay. I call it wraparound eyeliner.
Well, I know. I mean, listen. I know what you mean.
Like when it's inside.
Oh, never inside.
That's what I used to do.
Never inside. But I used to do that. Like, it's like when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And you're like, I used to do black, because I would be like, I'm going to kick your ass.
Oh, you were that girl. You were the scary girl in the gym who used to take a lighter to their eyeliner. Did you do that?
I sat next to her. I mean, that was my best friend. But like, I was...
Those girls scared the crap out of me.
Oh, I was that girl.
Yeah. Okay. Even a can of soup in your grocery bag
A can of soup
has the potential to turn fatal when it's flying at 60 miles an hour in a car crash.
You know what? If I get killed by a can of soup, I'm going to be pissed.
It better be a non-light sodium, light calorie soup. It better at least be like a cream of tomato or
Cans
something.
of soup in a can tastes terrible.
Oh, that's how I eat all my soups. What are you making homemade soup?
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay. Do your best. I have made a couple of soups, but it's not like a regular thing. Do your best to travel light, removing all unnecessary objects from your car every time you get home.
Well, also, don't people have trunks?
Well, yes, but you've certainly seen cars where people just have shit in their cars.
Oh, yeah, mine.
Oh, okay. So when traveling with objects that could become projectiles, carefully stow them in your trunk, covered back storage area, or in wells behind seats. I didn't really understand that part.
Wells behind seats?
Are they talking about like
The floor, maybe?
the floor? I feel like they're talking about SUVs or something.
Yeah, I don't know what those are.
Consider using a cargo cover or a net to secure items in the back of SUVs and minivans. Note that unsecured passengers and pets are potential projectiles as well.
Oh, yeah, that's why they want you to strap your dog in. We don't do that.
Yes. Well, she's so big. Would she fly?
I mean,
I guess maybe that's a better reason to strap. I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
thinking of all those LA dogs that are just going
yeah, those little
like,
tiny.
Yeah, shoot around your.
Yeah, she's pretty big.
Invest in an auto survival tool and a first aid kit.
Yeah.
Keep a seatbelt cutter and glass breaker handy in your vehicle at all times.
Life hammer.
Our audience already knows that. Okay, what to do during a car accident. Trust your anti-lock brake system. Most vehicles today come equipped with anti-lock brakes, a system that will pump brakes faster than you're able to in order to slow down your vehicle efficiently. If you need to brake quickly, just hold your brakes firmly and allow the anti-lock brakes to pump your brakes for you.
I don't need to do it with my foot.
Right.
I just put my foot down and it's
yes.
going to go bump, bump, bump.
Yeah, I don't even know if I realized that. You
didn't
may
know that.
feel the pedal vibrate so that you know it's working.
Oh.
The system works best when your wheels are pointed straight forward. No anti-lock brakes. This is what you do if you have a car without anti-lock brakes. If your car lacks anti-lock brakes, you need to pump the brakes to keep the car under control. If you slam on the brakes, your car will start to skid and you will lose control. You cannot steer a vehicle when the brakes are locked. Press firmly, then release. If you feel the tires start to skid, release the brakes before steering. So very good to know if you don't have them.
I mean, most people aren't in cars that don't have
Right,
anti-lock
but I mean,
brakes.
if you have an old car,
Yeah.
we've learned on the story. We've learned on the story. I called the show our stories.
The story.
The stories. I've learned on this show that people drive extremely old cars.
That's true. People like, collectible muscle cars.
Well, yeah, or you just, you've had a car for 20 years because it still works. So, okay. This is what to do. Okay, now, in an accident, slow down. Speed is one of the most dangerous factors in any accident. The faster you or the other vehicle is going, the more of an impact there will be. If you see an accident coming, do your best to minimize speed. On the other hand, consider acceleration.
No. Why?
In an accident, more speed is often the last thing you want to add to the equation, but in some situations, it's the right choice. If it is possible for you to speed up and get out of the way, this is smart action to take. I'm sure we've all done that. Like,
Swerve around something, yeah.
Remain in control or regain control of your vehicle. If your car starts to skid steer in the direction of the skid, the ski, the skogie. Avoid braking or pressing the accelerator until your tires regain traction. Always keep a firm grip on the wheel and do your best to remain calm.
Obviously, you're going to stay super calm through this.
Avoid sudden movements. Obviously. Avoid sudden movements. Karen's cracking up. Respond quickly but smoothly to potential accidents. Avoid jerking your steering wheel or slamming on the brakes unless it is obviously necessary, as these actions could cause you to lose control of the vehicle. So this is like a moment-by-moment decision.
Yeah.
Do I slam on the brakes? Do I jerk the steering wheel? I mean, I guess you never... Well, you want to jerk the steering wheel if you
quickly need to
avoid and you know there's nothing on the other side.
Yes. I mean, that's the thing that's difficult, that like if you're about to slam into something,
Yeah.
but you jerk the wheel, you could make things worse.
Right.
Like if you're in Ohio...
Yeah.
And you're about to slam into a deer,
Yeah.
you don't want to jerk your wheel. You hit the deer.
Really?
Yes.
That's what they teach you?
That's what they teach you, is to smear the deer.
Oh my God. Did you make that up?
I I didn't.
That's a thing. Is that a bumper sticker? And is that the state motto of?
It's actually the state.
Ohio?
It's the flag.
Smear the deer,
and it's on their license plates.
And just a bloody deer.
Carnage of a deer is behind the numbers of your license plate. And the top. It's Ohio. Smear the deer.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And because why?
Because you're more likely to crash into another car because that'll put more people in danger.
Have you ever had to hit a deer?
I haven't, thank goodness. I mean,
I don't know if I could live with. I mean, obviously you live with yourself, but I mean that would be really, really, really hard.
Well, it's hard on your car too.
I'll hold a vigil for my car. Your car was sent to a farm up north where it's living a gas-free life. Just running around the grassy plains. Oh my God, if I killed a deer, oh my God. And then the worst is if it's not totally dead, and then what the hell do you do?
Well, you get your rifle and you shoot it in the head.
Oh my God. They didn't teach us this in my Sherman Oaks grade school. Okay. Aim for the object that will do the least damage. I guess this is where the Ohio thing comes in. If hitting something is inevitable, do your best to steer toward an area that is likely to cause less damage. That means if you have a choice, steer for the bushes rather than on oncoming traffic. That's all pretty self-explanatory.
Well, remember the woman we talked about who plunged 800 feet?
Yes.
In her car to the
water
because she was swerving to avoid hitting a small animal. Mm-hmm. Hit the small animal. Right. Yeah. It's nice that she did that. I'm not saying she's a bad person.
I'm sure she regrets it. Yeah.
Sometimes you just do it automatically.
Yeah.
You're not you're just oh no, I don't want to hit that thing, and your brain isn't even figuring out what it is yet.
Yeah.
You're just swerving, and I've swerved to avoid hitting a trash bag before. Because I just didn't know what it was.
Well, because you're a fan of American Beauty, and you knew the significance of that trash bag.
The bag, yeah. I was like, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Stay in a normal driving position. I found this interesting. Hunching, ducking, or anything that moves you out of the normal driving position can make your injuries worse. As vehicle safety systems are designed to protect you in this position. They want you to watch your posture.
Shoulders back.
Yeah.
10 and 2.
That's right.
That's how they put the crash test dummies. So they probably have done a lot of
right. So it hits in the right place.
Yeah.
Ducking can cause your head to hit the steering wheel or dashboard and get you too close to the airbag as it deploys. Moving your arms in front of your steering wheel could put them in the way of your airbag as well.
Oh.
Stay upright and hold the steering wheel for best protection.
Garen looks like he's about to be in a car accident right now.
The idea of breaking arms with an airbag is nauseating.
What about killing a deer? Is that nauseating to you? Not as much? You're from Michigan. No. It's still gross. Yeah. Even after an accident has passed, you may not be out of danger. Rubberneckers, fire, and injuries that are not yet apparent are still quite dangerous. Get help and stay safe with these tips. I was thinking of the guy who got out of his car only to be hit with the tour bus.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Call 911 for help as soon as you can. Call authorities to help attend to your emergency. This will ensure that you get medical attention and clear the accident as soon as possible. Assess whether it's safe to leave your vehicle. Your car may be the safest place to be even after a crash. I think your instinct might be to get out, but they're saying exactly this for this reason with the guy with the tour bus. Getting out on the highway where there may be rubberneckers or while other vehicles are crashing around you in a multiple vehicle pileup can put you in serious danger if you've exited the car. Assess whether there is moving traffic and if you have injuries that might require you to stay still.
You could have internal injuries that you might just need to not move.
Yeah, you might just, I don't know how you assess that, but I guess just do your best. Leave if it is safe to do so, but remember that the safest place to be may be in your seat with your seatbelt still fastened. Reduce the risk of fire. Turn off your engine.
Okay.
Which is good because you may not even think to do that.
I don't know if I would.
Do not smoke.
Oh, but that's when I'm really going to want to.
That's when you're going to want to. And do not allow anyone else to smoke. The accident may have resulted in a leak of flammable material such as gas.
But what if my car's going to blow up? Shouldn't I get out in case my car blows up?
Yes. But they're just saying check around, make sure there isn't a tour bus rounding the bend that's going to hit you.
Okay.
Or that you have life-threatening injuries that if you move. But yes, of course you should. I think the rule is get out if it's safe, light up.
Okay.
But don't light up too close to the car.
My car probably won't spontaneously combust.
Yes. Also, don't flick that cigarette into the car.
But that's satisfying.
It is satisfying.
Ding.
And if it blows up, run away in slow motion.
I'll only be able to run away in slow motion.
Right.
Due to my internal injuries.
Well, yes, and also you've lost your legs in this accident. So you're just going to be crawling. Apply first aid, find your first aid kit, and attend to any injuries that you can handle until emergency services arrive.
Okay.
I'm now going to tell you about a story about a crazy car accident.
I love stories.
It's not actually a car. It's a like a trailer, like a home. What do they call it?
RV?
Yeah, like an RV.
Recreational vehicle?
Yeah, a motor home.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a story from August 2004. It's told in the first person, so
buckle up.
Buckle up. Also, I couldn't verify that this was true, but I don't really know why anyone would lie about this. So I tried. I really did try to research this to find it in a local newspaper of the time and the place, but I couldn't find it. Probably because accidents are very, very frequent, as we learned. Okay, August 2004. Picture it. 2004.
Oh, I remember that.
No one knows what COVID is.
No one knows about Trump being president yet.
No one knows about succession.
Oh my God, I feel sad
What a
about
horrible
that.
time. It's
We
horrible and
weren't
good.
even mad about Sarah Palin yet.
No, we weren't.
We were so innocent then.
Right. Oh, this was Bush 2, right? 2004?
We were so naive.
So naive. We thought he was the worst president ever.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
My family, parents, 2 older brothers, and myself were on our way back from a family reunion. We rented the 28-foot-long motorhome. It says you see above, but clearly you don't see it because there's no picture.
But I can picture it.
Yes. Around 10 p.m., we were crossing into Minnesota on I-90 eastbound. 7 miles inside the state line, we wrecked. A drunk driver tried overtaking us in the left lane. He veered off the road and into the median. Coming back onto the highway, he overcorrected, contacting the RV on the driver's side. Much like the police pit maneuver, I don't know what that means.
That's when they like tap the back of the car and it spins out.
Oh, on purpose so that it stops.
So they stop it, yeah.
Okay. This caused our vehicle to lose control. That makes sense, especially since it's so big. When the front tires hit the soft grassy median, they dug in. Remember, this is 28 feet long. The top-heavy RV flipped over and slid 150 feet on its roof.
Oh, God.
Just imagine.
That's so loud.
For 150 feet.
Oh, boy.
The drunk driver, meanwhile, fled the scene.
Yeah.
Probably on his way to mini golf.
Yep. And get more booze.
Yeah. Drunk mini golf. He was caught after the first responders got to us 30 miles down the road. The guy was caught 30 miles away. My dad was trapped in the cab upside down.
Whoa.
He had a minor scratch across his forehead and nothing else.
That's good.
Everyone else in our family was ejected from the vehicle.
Whoa.
Just imagine people being flung from an RV.
Oh, man.
I was the second luckiest. I was asleep on the couch behind the passenger seat when the wreck happened. I woke up inches from the asphalt with a small cut on the bottom of my chin that required 3 stitches. Well, that, from what I understand, every man gets to a point where they have a cut on their chin and they have a scar. Every single man I've ever known has a cut on their chin. Okay. Both of my brothers were in bed above the cab. The only thing we can figure is that as the RV rolled, it peeled back like a sardine can. My oldest brother had a gash on the back of his head that required 3 surgical staples. My other brother and my mom were in the worst condition. My brother had internal lacerations and a mostly destroyed liver. My mom at the time was asleep. I don't think his mom at the time. I think she's still his mom.
Okay. He didn't disown her.
I think he's just saying at the time of the crash. Yeah. My mom was my mom was asleep in the bed in the back of the RV. She was found 50 feet in front of the wreck, having been thrown the entire distance. 50 feet. That's like a puma.
That's as far as a puma can jump.
Yeah. Right?
Unless
40
wait,
feet.
Is his mom a puma?
His mom might be in Puma, which is why he disowned her. I might have screwed up some of the details of the story. She suffered a shattered pelvis, a broken back, 2 broken legs, several broken ribs, and a broken eye socket. Isn't that exactly what would happen? That the mother gets the brunt of the fucking... Right?
Always.
She just wanted a minute of rest while those two are arguing and the dad doesn't know where he's going. And then all she wanted, I'm just going to lay down in the back for a few minutes.
That poor mom. It makes me want to cry.
The first responders told us that this is the kind of wreck where they're picking up body parts. I'm not a religious man, but the fact that we all survived is nothing short of a miracle. My oldest brother, my dad, and myself were discharged from the hospital the following morning. My other brother was in the ICU for 2 weeks, but recovered quickly and was discharged. My mom, being the worst injured, underwent hours of surgery. The surgeons at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, saved her life. In fact, she died 3 times on the operating table.
Whoa.
Once for each of those douchebags who were
she was like, you know what? I'm out of here.
Talk about a martyr. She died 3 times for their sins of being fine. The doctors told my dad that she would never walk again and never be the same person mentally again. They had doubts originally that she would ever wake up from her coma. When she did come to, my dad told her every day she was expected to make a full recovery. Mm-hmm. He lied to her. He said, you're expected to make a full recovery. He didn't let the doctors tell her anything about her condition. After a year of intense physical therapy and months being confined to a wheelchair, she began walking on her own.
Aw, sweetie.
It's like reverse gaslighting.
Yes.
It's like gaslighting for good.
Yeah.
A year after the wreck, she had a medical checkup at the Mayo Clinic. She walked in the front door.
Yes.
The head nurse on her case fainted. To this day, her case is taught in medical classes. The surgeon who did her surgeries literally wrote the textbook on the procedures he did. Today, nearly 8 years later, she's essentially made a full recovery. While it's absolutely insane that 3 of the 5 of us walked away with minor injuries, it's nothing short of a miracle that all of us survived. To me, this is the most unbelievable survival story of all.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, but it doesn't always
Yes.
end that way. But I just thought it was crazy.
Do you think that maybe the fact that they had all been sleeping helped because their bodies kind of stayed relaxed?
I have to tell you, Chris.
Please.
That crossed my mind.
Oh, well.
I did think that maybe it was because that thing of like, you can't react, you can't clench up. You
like
can't.
babies when they fall out of windows.
You know how they do.
They do. I mean, that's a thing where they talk about how like kids are able to sort of fall out of like 2-story windows and they don't get that injured because they don't, when they're little,
They don't clench
they
up.
don't know to have the fear that they're in danger, and so they tend to not break all their bones because.
But you would think that our anatomy or we're programmed that the fear should serve a purpose. But you're saying it makes it worse. Like being scared and clenching up makes your injuries worse. But normally you have physiological reactions to help you, like the flight or flight, right?
Flight or flight.
Flight of beer. Do they do flights of beer? I'm sure they do flights of beer. They do flights of wine.
Yes, they do.
And this is just an interesting little thing from Guinness. This is the fastest car crash survival. The fastest car crash anyone has ever survived took place on 17 November, those Guinness, 1966, at the Bonneville Salt Flats near Wendover, Utah. Land speed record racer Art Arfons was piloting his jet-powered Green Monster.
What?
At around, wait for it,
I'm ready.
610 miles per hour.
No.
This is a thing.
Yeah.
When the bearings on the right front wheel seized, sending the car tumbling for more than a mile across the flats.
Whoa.
Tumbling for a mile.
A mile.
Arfons was pulled from the wreckage, dazed and bloodied, but astonishingly turned out to have suffered only cuts, bruises, and friction burns from the Salt Lake's rough surface. Art Arfons built the Green Monster himself, bolting the afterburning J-79 jet engine from an F-104 Starfighter to a homemade metal frame and the steering gear from an old truck.
Wow.
The process was made all the more difficult by the fact that the J-79 engine, which he bought from a military scrapyard, was classified at the time, and no manuals or technical information was available. You can read all about this guy, Art Arfons. He made a lot of cars that were called the Green Monster, and raced them, and then went into tractor pulling.
Okay.
Which I guess is a thing.
Yeah.
Where you pull a tractor with a car. Is that what it is? I've heard of tractor pulling, but I never realized.
Yeah.
Really thought about what it was.
I know not much more than you
Okay.
do, which is not much. It seems.
Yeah. No, it's not. But it's a sort of interesting. I mean, it's a very interesting story. But yeah. So those are the extremes of car crashes.
I mean, those are great stories.
I didn't want to tell a story where everyone died.
No, we've got plenty of those.
We got enough
but,
of those.
I mean, I don't think people want to hear those.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been in car crashes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been in a lot of car crashes.
I've been at fault, and I've
Same.
had them crash into me.
Same.
And I've luckily not been injured.
I know. It's like insane that you're sending your kid out there going, yeah, you'll most likely be in a car wreck at some point. Have fun. Good luck. Strap in.
I always think it's so, I've come across so many people that will, when they travel as adults, not take flights together because they're
Right.
worried. Like as parents, they'll be like, well, we're taking separate flights. And I'm like, but you all get,
But you all get in the car together
you all
every
get in the car
day.
together.
Right.
I mean, really, you don't need to take separate flights. Like the risk of that is, it's so.
Yeah, they do that with like the president and the vice president. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, like
Right.
you don't have to. I mean,
Also, wouldn't you feel horribly guilty? I mean, I guess that's not a reason not to die, but like if you're in the one that didn't crash, I don't know. That would be really awful.
I'd feel
Better,
better,
that you're
I
not
guess,
dead, I guess.
because there's one parent left.
But then do they when they travel with their kids, do they split the kids up? Do the kids go with one parent? Like what do they do?
yeah, it's like, how do you figure that one out?
It's really morbid.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
It's like when my mom when I used to house sit for my parents when they go on vacation, and my
Yeah.
mom before the flight would point out to me where her good costume jewelry was in case, here's our lawyer's business card.
yeah.
And here's the good costume jewelry.
The good costume
jewelry.
It's good to know, though. Wow.
So,
that was,
yeah.
that was great.
I mean, there's probably a lot more kinds of accidents I could have done, but I was just doing the general, like, I'm sure there's like stuff about black ice and.
Oh, we're going to get into
But
all
I figured
of
we'd get
that
into all of that at a different time when it's, more appropriate.
when it's black ice time.
When someone has a story about smuggling in diamonds that they call black ice, and then we're gonna how to survive skidding on black ice.
Let's wait
and
for black ice.
selling black ice.
Let's wait for black ice season.
Let's wait for black ice season. Black ice is probably like a dentine flavor or something, right?
Oh, it surely is.
Does dentine still exist? I don't know what I'm
I think
talking
it
about.
does. Anyway, we're getting into the weeds
Yes,
a little bit.
and we're it's time for a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
And we're gonna be back with a very special guest.
Can't wait. I'm so excited.
Well, he pointed to me, so I guess I'm doing it. Welcome back.
Hey.
To How to Survive with Danielle and Kristine. Kristine, how was your break?
I enjoyed myself. I did some perusing on my phone.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you call scrolling?
I call it perusing.
Perusing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That makes it sound less idiotic.
It was still pretty idiotic, I'll admit it, but I enjoyed myself.
Well, we just talked about how to survive a car accident, and now we're going to talk about how to survive a bicycle accident with our very special guest. You know him from Comedy Bang Bang, Scott Aukerman.
So
Hello.
excited. Hi, Scott.
Scott!
Let me just clarify.
Yes.
This involves a car. I don't know if that throws
God damn
what
it!
you're doing here or
No,
not, but
no.
do we need to re-record this?
No,
Gary, let's
that's-
re-record this. Let's
actually
re-record
think-
everything.
I
Give
think-
another silent
I
3, 2, 1.
have to do different research now. No, it's all good.
we'll just-
It's fine.
By the way, Garen, why did you do the 3, 2, 1? Like, you pressed record. You could have just said, okay, we're recording. Instead, you did a 3.
Because he thinks he's in television in the 50s.
We can re-record the first
Hour.
hour.
Yeah,
We'll just do that all over again.
Yeah.
Scrap it.
Yeah.
Do a whole new thing.
We have literally nothing else to do.
Or
Yeah.
we could say it actually makes it better.
Oh, I don't know what
Glass
that means.
half full.
Oh.
Ooh. Do you know what I say every time I say your name now?
What's that?
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
I can't stop it.
Mr. Scott.
Mr. Scott.
Danielle was on my show recently, and
Comedy Bang Bang.
And Susie Barrett did a very funny character
As a potato.
As a potato.
Who would call Scott?
Mr. Scott.
Mr. Scott. It was just so, I can't stop. It's hysterical.
Hysterica.
Okay, so you have a story that apparently involves a car also.
And human beings.
And human beings. Okay.
And
This story
earth,
has
I guess.
everything.
The air. Does it have all the elements? Fire?
Water?
I drank some water. I'm sure I did. I must have.
Okay.
Although fire, I don't know. But the earth, definitely. What are the 4 elements? Earth, wind, and fire?
Wind,
no,
fire,
wind
water.
is not one.
Well, wind is air. Earth.
Okay. Earth, wind, and fire.
Earth,
The
wind, and
band
fire.
was the band
And water.
was
And
Earth, Wind,
funky-
and Fire.
yes.
The band also present.
I think they were. I mean, in spirit, this was 1980, so I mean, they would have been on the charts.
Was
See?
was the restaurant
Currently-
Earth, Wind, and Flower also part of it?
Where is that?
In Santa Monica.
In Santa Monica. Okay,
Yeah.
the West Side. I don't fuck with the West Side.
I know. So, did you say 1980 or 80s?
1980.
The actual 1980.
On the
so
dot.
you were but a mere child.
I was. As I recall, Ronnie Reagan was running for president.
Yeah.
Did people call him Ronnie Reagan?
They did, yeah. Anytime you were trying to make fun of him, it would be like, well, Ronnie Reagan.
I don't remember that. That's fascinating. That's so good.
Well, you guys are so young.
Yeah, but
we
I mean,
are. We
mean-
heard this though from our parents.
Yes, I was going to say I definitely heard a lot of my mom being mad at other Democrats who were voting for him.
Really? Interesting.
Well, because he turned the tide of like a lot
Yeah.
of Democrats voted for him. Apparently.
California was red at the time.
Oh, that's
wow.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
California native?
I am. I grew up here, yes.
Oh, nice.
Orange County, right?
Orange County. This
Two
story, I have to
Californias.
say, takes place in Orange County. We're getting closer.
Set the scene. We're getting closer to you telling the story. You're just
We're
going
going
to
to
give
just
us.
go around the edges until finally we get there.
Okay, so 1980, you're still in grade school. I'm going to say.
I am still in grade school. Thank you very much, Danielle.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And,
well, I'm just doing
no,
the math. I'm
yes,
guessing you're
of
only a
course.
couple of years older than me, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I would have thought more, but
Okay, let's say you're 10 years older than me. Why not? You look really good, or I look really horrible.
No, I think you look great.
Okay.
And, I look horrible.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. I'm in 10th grade. No. I'm 10 years old.
Okay.
In 5th grade.
Yes.
Okay, so one thing you should know about this story is that it involves sunglasses and a very specific type of sunglasses.
I'm intrigued.
The mirrored aviators came out around this year,
Okay.
at least in Orange County.
Okay, so Orange County is ahead of the curve in reality.
Really? When did...
Well, I don't know. I'm just thinking, isn't it like Top Gun? Aren't those mirrored?
Yeah,
No,
they were
remember the show Cops? Or the show
Chips?
Cops.
Chips.
Chips.
Not Cops.
Yeah.
Chips. Didn't they have those aviators?
Oh, yeah, because they're
They
cops. That's what
probably
cops
did,
had. Yeah, you're right.
All I know is up till then, sunglasses were merely darkened lenses.
Mm-hmm.
And then suddenly,
New technology.
in the supermarket of my hometown, there were these sunglasses that you could see your dang reflection in.
And then people are checking out their hair in your face.
Right.
Right.
And I just thought these were the coolest things. I was like, I got to get myself a pair. I believe they must have been about $1.50, $2, something like
Ooh.
that. Yeah, this is a lot. This
Yes.
is
Yes.
a 2 allowance purchase. I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got 75 cents a week?
Something around 75
Okay.
cents a week, yeah. So, but I got these mirrored sunglasses. I was so happy. I thought I looked really cool. And the thing about the mirrored sunglasses is you could not see the person's eyes in them because they
Right.
were literally mirrored. So all you could see was your own reflection. So I just thought this was so interesting how no one could tell no one could tell, your what your eyes were doing. No one could tell like if you were squinting at them or if you were angry. And in fact, I started thinking about like, wow, no one can even tell if you have your eyes open or closed. Like I could have my eyes closed,
Yeah.
and no one would even know it. I could just be talking to someone with my eyes closed, and they would be thinking that my eyes were open.
What a sap.
The perfect con.
You're fooling them all.
This is like the thoughts of a sociopath.
Yes.
Like, no one can see my expressions.
Oh,
They don't know what's going
I thought you were
on.
talking about the other guy I was talking to.
No. He's
I couldn't be
normal.
the
He's an
sociopath.
egotist looking at his
Oh.
reflection. You're a sociopath.
So I was riding my bike thinking about this. And
Is this a Huffy? Is it the bike with the handlebars? Is it a banana seat? I need to
these
see.
are good questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this was before I got the Huffy.
Oh, okay.
The Huffy was a kind of shitty Huffy that my dad and I like restored and got new handlebars and the cool like grips and and painted and all this kind of stuff. And it was stolen probably a month after I did all that because I left it unlocked everywhere. So, which back in the time you could.
It wasn't so much. Yeah.
So this is beforehand. This was probably the banana seats with the giant handlebars. So and by the way, back in 1980, you know, where I grew up, it was the suburbs, and there was just no cars anywhere.
Okay.
Like there was no traffic anywhere, and you just kind of were left alone to do whatever you wanted all the time. And my parents, it was just kind of like, you know, whatever you do in the afternoon, just come home around 6 or whatever.
It's like a job. You just don't talk about it. Come home.
Exactly.
Throw off your tie. Mom's dinner ready.
Yeah, just be home when the A-team comes on.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I was just kind of riding my bike around alone, which I used to do a lot, and just thinking to myself. And so I was on my street.
Thinking to yourself, no one can see my face.
And so on my street where I grew up, I was 3 houses down from a park. And the park was at the end of the street.
Okay.
And it was a sort of a T in a way of like the end of my street was another street that was perpendicular. No. Yeah, perpendicular. Yeah, perpendicular to my street. So I was riding my bike and I was kind of like, man, it would be really, you know, it would be so funny is if like I was riding down this street and people who were coming out of their houses were like looking at me going like, wow, look at that guy with his eyes open riding his bike everywhere. But meanwhile, I'm really riding my bike with my eyes closed, and these idiots don't even know it.
Oh my God.
These utter fools looking at me, a close-eyed person, thinking that I'm an open-eyed person.
I love the mind of a 10-year-old boy.
A future comedy writer. Oh my God.
So so I thought, well, I got to do this scientifically, though. Okay, I can't just ride around with my eyes closed. Okay, because you know I'll crash into the street that's perpendicular.
Okay,
so
you had some forethought.
I have to do this in a scientific manner.
Okay.
So what I did was I went to the end of my street and I said I'm going to count how many seconds it is until I get to my house, which is 3 houses away from the park.
Gotcha.
And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it again with my eyes closed. And when I count to the second, I'm going to open my eyes and I'll be at my house.
It's almost like what do you call it when you just like a transporter? Like, you know, you just count, you open your eyes and there you are.
Like on your dad's show?
Yeah, kind of like that. I know. I was like, what is that called? Because I was thinking of the Fly.
Oh yeah, the Fly. Yes.
How he gets from one place to another. So is that
he
called
flies,
a transporter?
Usually.
No, he doesn't fly until he becomes the Fly. When he's just
wait. So in the Fly, was the purpose of the machine that he built to be a teleporter?
Yeah, yes, teleporter, not transporter.
But instead, he gets trapped in there with
a fly.
And they both transport, or they both get merged together. Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the purpose of the machine.
It could be wrong, but I think that's what
like
it
teleportation
is.
to
teleportation.
places.
I'm right. I got a science fiction thing right. Okay.
All right, great.
I couldn't think of the word transporter or Star Trek, but anyway.
Otherwise, you're doing great.
You ever get to go on that bridge?
I've been on a Star Trek cruise.
Oh, a cruise, really? Mm-hmm. To what end was your?
No end. It was a 5-year mission. It just felt like it.
Oh, you just felt like it. So it was.
No. I meant it just felt like 5 years.
Was it with your father or was it?
Yes, this wasn't something I did.
I was going to say.
No, this was something as a teenager, I went on a Star Trek cruise with him, and he actually just went on one by himself because my mother was, wisely was like, I'm not doing that.
Interesting.
So, and it was like 10 days, something like 10 fucking days.
To be trapped with.
Yep.
Yeah. Did he ever leave the cabin or?
I'm sure he had to when he had to do his appearances and stuff, but other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. So you were going to time it. You were going to
So I was going to time it.
First ride down the street.
Yeah, with my eyes open, count how many seconds it was, then go back to the start, and then do it with my eyes closed. So I did it the first time, and I counted all the seconds, and I was like, okay, I got to do it at the same pace each time. So I got, I think it was like 25 seconds to, to the other end of my street, and I was like, okay, 25, that's good.
That's a long time to have your eyes closed.
It is riding a bike.
Yeah, but I was pretty good at riding a bike. I don't want to brag necessarily, but picked it up around maybe 2 years earlier.
You're an expert at this point.
Oh yeah. So about 25 seconds, I go, okay, this is great. And by the way, my street, never any traffic really. The only it was just occasionally people would, and you would hear it obviously if there was a car.
And it was a flat street. You're not talking about going down a hill or anything.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it was just a totally flat suburban street.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cars were a lot louder back then.
Yeah, they were. They were
true.
a lot louder. So, in fact, that was the same street that the one time there was a car was when a car hit my dog on Christmas Day.
Oh my God.
But this was, you'd let your dog out of the house and he would just go running around up and down the street and it would be fine because there was no traffic anywhere.
Yeah.
And
I think from what I'm gathering of the dog story and this story, maybe it wasn't as safe as you all think it was.
I
just let your children and your dogs out.
Thematically, I think this is more of how did I survive childhood?
Or the street. How did you
And
survive this street?
It was Elm Street. That's the other thing.
Oh, that's so weird. Did the dog die?
No, the dog was fine. It broke its leg. Her leg.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes me feel better. All right.
Yeah, dog's fine.
Dead now, though.
Dead
right?
now. Oh,
okay.
Long
dead. Okay.
And in hell, I like to think.
Well,
Doggy hell.
She's gone.
Where they're stabbed by burning bones instead of pitchforks.
Oh, that's so cute.
That is cute.
So thematic.
Yeah. So
you time it. It's 25 seconds.
I went back to the beginning, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be so funny. And I'm going to open up my eyes, and I'll be right there in front of my house, give or take a house,
Sure.
But, it'll all be fine. So I start biking. I close my eyes. I start biking, and I start counting it down. I'm like 25, 24, 23, 22, 20, and then I don't remember anything after that.
Oh no.
And I woke up in a strange place that I'd never been before.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
And I look around and it's my neighbors who who never talked to me, who had never said one word to me. Our direct next door neighbor, who had a pool, by the way, and we were never invited over.
Oh, fuck them.
Because their children were 1 year older than.
What?
You can't fraternize with.
And they were girls. So it was like on either side, I had 1 year older girls who were best friends, and they both had pools.
Oh.
And they made fun of me anytime they would see me.
Well, this couldn't have helped.
So, exactly, yeah. So already I'm feeling embarrassment of like, oh no, they're going to make fun of me for whatever happened.
So you're in their house.
I'm in their house,
Okay.
yes. And they're like, hey, we found you in the middle of the street. We found you just in the middle of the street. I guess
Oh
you
my
had crashed into a
God.
parked car.
Oh.
And I thought I was in the direct middle of the street. And I guess I had just like drifted over.
Oh my God. You set it up so perfectly. I assumed it was a real car, like driving to you.
No.
You just crashed.
Just crashed into a parked car.
Oh my God. And so hard it knocked you out.
Knocked me out. And then they're like, I think you need to get to the hospital because you have glass all over your face.
Oh no.
And it was my prized $2 sunglasses had cracked open and had all the glass was like embedded into my face.
Oh God. No.
So your parents were clearly not home.
They were not home, no.
So okay.
So they're like, we're just kind of waiting for your parents to get home. We're glad you woke up.
Did they tell you how long you'd been out?
I don't think I had the wherewithal to ask that question.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I'd like to imagine that they picked me up, took me into their house, and within 60 seconds I woke up. But
Hours.
You look in the mirror and there's like daisies drawn on your face. The little girls are making fun of you.
So eventually my parents got home and I was taken to the hospital, and I remember the doctor with tweezers just picking shards of glass out of
Your downfall.
my face. Didn't have the sunglasses anymore, and then everyone at school, including these neighbor girls, when they would see me, would say, "Oh, what happened to your face? Wow, it's an improvement." Which is really nice.
Scott, Mr. Scott. Okay, I have so many questions. Did you have? So then you had to explain to everybody what happened? Did you explain to your parents and the neighbors and the hospital?
No.
Okay.
No, I kept that a secret because my parents thought I was dumb and stupid at the same time.
Both, right?
So there were a lot of things that I kind of kept a secret for years and years and didn't tell them until I was a grown adult. There was the time when I woke up and thought it was really funny. I just got a red marking pen, and I thought it was really funny to put dots all over my face. And then I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come downstairs and play a really funny joke.
Right.
Everyone's gonna think I have measles."
Right.
And then I forgot I did it. Like enough time passed that I just forgot. So when I finally came downstairs, and my mom said, "What's going on with your face?" And I was like, "What?" And sold it so much that they thought it must have been real because I'd totally forgotten.
How long was it before what were you doing? Taxes? Like, how long did it take you to get?
I was doing my parents' taxes at the time.
I'm trying to figure out what would take you so long and distract you so much that you forget you put red dots all over your face.
I have no idea, but I was just like, maybe I went back to sleep after I died.
Okay.
I don't remember, but I just had forgotten it, so I was like, "There's nothing wrong with my." What do you mean? There's something wrong with my face? And they're like, and by the time they were like, "You have red dots all over your face. I think you might have chicken pox or something like that." I was like, "Oh shit, I'm in trouble." And so we went to the doctor. The doctor kind of took a look at me and was like, "I think I have just the thing." Took out a scrub brush and some soap and just took it off. And they were like, "So did you do this?" And I was like, "No." And they believed me because of just how good my acting was. Or it wasn't even acting the first time they asked. So they assumed it was my brother. And he got into trouble for it. And it was years and years and years before I was like, "Hey, I have to tell you that I was the one who did the red dots."
Were they like dumbfounded?
Yeah, they were like, "We've thought he did that for 10, 15 years at this point." Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it was. It was a dangerous kind of childhood, especially living with a lunatic like my brother. But one time he ran over my foot and was like,
with a car?
With a car, yeah. He was like, "Don't tell mom. Don't tell mom." I was like, "I think something's wrong." He's like, "Just walk it off, but do not tell mom what happened." I'm like, I think
this is the time I'm gonna have to tell mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, and it broke.
Did he somehow blame it on you?
It was one of those things where it was like he was dropping me off at the library. I was doing volunteer work at the library.
Nerd.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you think he's a nerd?
Well, I'm just saying it goes with the persona I've been told about.
And he was dropping me off. He used to drive. He drove my parents' really long station wagon, and he would drive like 80 to 90 miles down down suburban streets.
That tracks as an older brother thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was dropping me off, and I said, "Okay, bye." And I hadn't shut the door yet, and I was there by the back wheel with my right foot about to shut the door, and he just like started driving. Drove onto my foot, and I was like, "Ow!" And so he's like, "Oh," and drove forward even more. And cracked, and then you just hear like,
"Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus!"
And then he backed up and got off of it, and he was just like, "Walk it off, just walk. You're fine. You're fine. Don't tell mom. Don't tell mom."
Oh my God! Yeah, we all had older brothers. My brother for sure stole my mom's car and then wrecked it.
Really?
Yeah, stole is
can you really steal from a family member?
Right. He took it without permission and then wrecked it. So yeah. Oh my
Does
God.
Oliver drive?
Oliver's 14.
Does he drive?
Yes.
Is what I asked.
Yes, he does. He does. He drives a tractor trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
He does tractor pulls.
He does tractor pulls. We talked about that in the first half.
Oh,
we don't really know what it is. Scott, thank you so much for being here.
That's a great story. Lots of good stories.
Yeah, really good stories.
Like how to survive an 80s childhood.
Yeah.
We're all here.
Yeah.
How to survive your brother.
How to Survive Being Stupid.
Well,
Yeah. But I love that you thought it was a comedy bit. You were like, this is going to be hilarious. It's just, you know.
And I don't think anyone was even on the street to see me, so I don't
right,
know
you
why.
were just picturing it.
But I think I was also like thinking the next step would be to do it around a lot of people in a more crowded
he was
environment. So I'm
practicing.
glad that I never got to that.
Okay, well, we should end this show, right? We've been just talking and talking.
we're going to keep it going.
But it's been a lot
This
of
is
fun.
3-hour podcast.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
this was
coming.
really
Thank you
great.
for having me. I'm hoping that this episode serves as an inspiration to other
I think it will.
stupid
Idiot
people out there.
10-year-olds. Yes. Oh, I'm sure it will.
My core audience.
This
Idiot
is- yes.
10-year-olds.
A podcast for 10-year-olds.
And we will be right back with what we learned today.
Stick around. Danielle,
Yes.
are you ready to learn what we learned?
I want to relearn what we learned.
Even a can of soup can be deadly. Don't die for your chowder.
No.
Life hammer. Save your life with a life hammer.
Yeah. Yeah. TM.
How are they not our sponsor?
Really?
I just sounded like Jimmy. Didn't I? Like that anger at the end. How are they not our sponsor?
Well, anger
That's my
equals Jimmy. Sure.
Yeah, that's my Jimmy Pardo impression.
Maybe if we contacted them, maybe if we ever made an effort, they could be our sponsor. I'm going to call them today. I'm not kidding. I'm going to look for the link today. And
I
Get
feel
up.
like I did an @ on them at Twitter and
Oh,
was
okay.
like, hey, you remove life hammer. And they were like, silence.
the onus is on you.
Remain calm.
Yes.
Smear the deer.
Oh, that poor deer.
If you are in an accident, turn off the engine and do not smoke.
Right.
Any and all running away from a burning car must be in slow motion. Mm-hmm. Tractor pulling is a motorsport which requires antique or modified. Oh, you know what? Never mind. It's a hillbilly sport. Speaking of, I
Yes?
feel like Garen and I have relatives who could have crashed into each other.
You're saying some Kimmels and some whatever your last name is. Cockerels.
Some Kimmels and some cockerels.
Completely blanked. Some Kimmels and some cockerels.
Yeah.
Have T-boned each other on a dirt
In more ways.
road somewhere in more ways than one.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Kimmels and cockerels, and there's Cartwrights too. In my family, that's my other name.
Cartwright sounds actually very high. Aren't the people in Dynasty the Cartwrights? No.
No, Cartwrights is, I think.
Oh no, Cartwrights is Bonanza or something.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
never
that
mind.
tracks,
Yeah,
right?
that tracks.
Okay.
That tracks.
I mean, that sounds like dueling Western families.
Yes. The Kimmels and the Cockerels.
Yeah.
Carrington.
Carrington. Yeah, not
Carrington
Cartwright.
is
a world away.
World away from Cartwright.
Yeah.
You're better off taking separate cars than separate flights.
Right, because you're more likely to be in a car accident.
Much more.
But what if you took separate cars and then those cars crashed into each other, like the Garens and the Cockerels and the Kimmels? I just feel like you should be a clan named the Garens.
Yeah.
The Garens.
Well, that was a great episode. We learned a lot.
We had so much fun.
We had so much fun with Scott.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's Scott. He's awesome.
Professionally funny.
Yeah, he is professionally funny. That's true.
Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. You know where to find us on all the social medias, right?
You know to get our merchandise at podhowtosurvive.com.
Yes.
And-
like us.
Yeah.
Follow us. Do all the things that you do.
And we've been seeing pictures of people posing with their merch, and it's very exciting. I love it.
It feels really
Someone had a
exciting.
mug. There's some T-shirts. It's very exciting. So post them.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. And remember, remain calm.